which I set up at the start of this semester, this year. So I'd like to start my presentation off by telling you a story, actually. The story of the summer of a very bored 19-year-old who decided to get to grips with the feared beast that is ethics. So she decided to read a short introduction to medical science by Tony Hope. This was the result, not me turning into a cat, but confusion and annoyance, actually, at the fact that I had no idea what he was talking about. So I did what anybody else in my position would do, and I looked to my course mates for support. However, being the summer, no one was around, so instead of getting the answers I wanted, my mind began to fill with unhelpful questions. Do they understand it? Are they experts already and I'm just behind? Am I the only one who thinks that this short introduction may as well be written in Japanese? Now, although we do get ethics lectures within my faculty, I wanted the chance to get to grips with the nitty-gritty details of ethics and understand what my peers thought about everyday ethical issues. So, I came up with a battle plan, a plan of action to slay this ethics beast once and for all. I would discuss. Oh yeah, discuss. Because you see, the best way to improve when it comes to ethics is to simply practice. Hear other people's opinions, get exposed to different scenarios, and just practice constructing arguments as often as you can. So, I emailed my tutor with a very detailed plan. And when I say detailed, there may have been enough content to fill these notebooks you see on the slides here. There were subtitles, diagrams, references, the lot. If I do something, I do it properly. Now, thankfully, he wasn't put off by my keenness and forwarded my email to the ethics lecturer for the faculty, Dr. Dave Lewis, who has acted as my fairy godmother for this whole project. He had a meeting, we exchanged emails, he made some suggestions, and before I knew it, I was sending out an email to the entire student population of my faculty about this ethics group, which I still had no idea about. But I found myself heading up this M&S EDG, the very catchy title. The aim of the game was for me to pick out key articles in newspapers that were relevant to some of the biggest issues in ethics at the moment. I would then divide my peers into groups and give everyone the chance to read and discuss the newspaper articles pertaining to the subject, and we'd come back together and they'd present their ideas on the issue. For the very first session, I chose the topic of Ebola and the role of quarantine and whether it should be forced, with the sub-theme of consent. It was quite a hefty subject, but one that was and still is extremely relevant to today. Thankfully, the session went well, and although I had a relatively modest turnout, people from across the faculty and across the different programs and year groups attended, contributing thought-provoking points to the discussion. Subsequent sessions had topic themes such as euthanasia, does assisted suicide have a place in society, with a sub-theme of a physician's role in death, and cultural relativism, is there any real difference between designer vaginas and female genital mutilation, with a sub-theme of biculturalism in research. Each week we grow and develop, and although I do my best to prepare by looking at the legal and the philosophical sides of the argument, each week someone comes up with a completely unique point, but that is the beauty of the group. Don't just take my word from it. You can see from the slide here some of the comments that people have said, and the reason why I think people enjoy it is because I give them the space in which they can express their own opinions without feeling conformed to say something that they don't want to or sound stupid. So I think it works because students appear to prefer peer-led discussions rather than lecture-led seminars for the aforementioned reasons. Something like this isn't for everyone, but I really do believe that those who attend do get a really good idea of what's happening and improve. So, what is happening in the future for my little group? I'd like to cover issues such as mental health and possibly issues pertaining to children in medicine research, and possibly even produce a booklet which reflects all of the ideas that we've come up with in the session. I'd also like to think that as the group grows, it will inspire others in their desire to understand the unknown and will help them to encounter when they encounter difficult and controversial issues as ethics so often presents. I think that this group has shown there are students out there who are willing to explore the more challenging areas of scientific degrees, such as ethics, and with a bit of luck, I'll have encouraged other students who have similar ideas to come forward and present them as well in the same vein. Thank you for listening.